What's going on, guys? This is Evan, the Senior Heroes Enthusiast, and I'll be bringing you a gameplay commentary for the Domination game type. This will be the first in what I intend to be a series of commentaries entitled Playing the Objective, where I will talk about the different kinds of players I encounter in Domination, my different experiences on Dominations on various maps, and just sort of how to play Domination, and just sort of put to rest some of the misconceptions I feel exist about the Domination game type. This will be more of an introductory video to what I hope to be, a pretty lengthy series, because, I'd like to have like a theme that I could do on this channel. I think that'd be a cool theme, playing the objective, and my thoughts on that. So, first I'm going to sort of divide players up into probably 5 different methodologies or ideologies that I encounter when playing Black Ops, and the kind of players I associate with these. And I have no evidence or data, and this is not universal. This is just something I've come up with, and it's something that, I think is pretty accurate. Maybe you guys can put in the comments if you agree or disagree. I'm going to start asking at the start of the videos. If you guys could rate, comment, subscribe if you enjoy what you see, just so I can kind of get a feel for how well I'm doing. And if, you guys are interested in me and keep doing this, I do this for a lot of my own pleasure, but if nobody's watching, there's not a lot of sense in putting them out. I know I do have some people that watch and some people that put me some pretty positive comments and inbox messages, so I try to respond to you guys whenever I can. I appreciate it. So moving right back into the gameplay here, I'm going to sort of list out the main archetypes for the Domination players I've encountered while playing. I'll probably list them in my order of preference, with what I hate the most to what I prefer. The bottom of the food chain are part of my friends who ghost bitches. And these are not people that run Ghost. These are not people that camp. These are people, and it's not really people that run both. It's a very specific player, but they're very common, very annoying, and they're in every playlist. Objective, TDM, all of them. These are the players that run Ghost, probably the assault rifle they're best with, and they go to obscure spots on the map and just sit around. They sit. They don't show up on spy planes, they're probably silenced, and they just pick up players when they come by, and they don't really move much, or if they do move, they just move to another obscure corner. These players are probably obsessed with their KDR, but their KDR is probably like 1.5 at the most, probably way less. And the reason being, pretty much the only way they can get kills is for people to walk across these bizarre areas or these meaningless areas, or really, the kill cam is probably the biggest way they get their kills. You die to these people, they're terrible at the game and just really annoying, so you go back to kill them again, and they always have the tactical advantage, and you just can't overpower it at times. That's these players, and we all love to hate this player. They are almost useless to you in Domination. In TDM, they're a little more useful because at least they usually have a pretty good KDR, and in TDM, KDR is really all that matters, unfortunately. But in objective games, the only real service they provide, beyond helping cap that first free flag, is that they will typically break kill streaks, because players that are building high kill streaks in Domination are either a player I'll get to later, or they're that didn't make sense, but I'll just keep going. They'll break kill streaks because people on high kill streaks will probably retreat into obscure location to pick up their last couple kills and go back to the action. They won't expect to see people in these really weird spots. They just will have no way of knowing they're there. They'll get jumped. They'll lose their streak. Not that great of a service to the team, but that's the only service they provide. I hate these players, and I want them off Black Ops, because they just ruin the fun pretty much for everybody, because really the only fun in Black Ops is getting kill streaks. So the next class, or the next ideology of players I see in Domination and objective-based gameplay is the suicide runners. These people have no idea what a KDR is, they have no interest in their KDR, and I don't really think they even care about their win-loss. They just want to cap flags. Every flag ever, no matter what. They have no strategy except point the weapon they're comfortable with or they're using at targets and shoot at them while trying to cap every flag they can. They typically get like 3 caps. They don't hold any of the flags they take, they just cap them and die. They don't really defend flags ever. They just blindly rush flags. That's where most of their experience comes from. That's Black Ops to them, and they're only very defensive about their gameplay. Like if you comment, you need to die less, you're giving the enemy team Blackbirds, dogs, chopper gunners. Their reply is typically, screw you, camper, I'm taking the objective, it's your fault we're losing. Despite the fact, you've given them 2 sets of Blackbirds and dogs, it's still my fault. If you're playing to win, these players are typically extremely annoying. But at least their heart's in the right place. They do want to cap objectives. They're not afraid to battle. They're not obsessed with their KDR, and there's so much fixation on KDR in this game that, that's a good thing. You typically don't want any of these on your team. You also don't want any of the ghost bitches either, but, I try not to use vulgar language, but I just gotta call it like it is. Typically, they're just going to give the enemy team enough kill streaks to crush you. The next class of player I see is like the strategic defense player. They're only going to cap a flag if it's a free cap. Pretty much their strategy is to go to a relatively high traffic area, medium to high traffic, with a lot of cover or high ground, and they're just going to camp there. And they'll probably keep going to spots like that all game long. These players know about their KDR, they care about their KDR, they don't really care about the win-loss so much. They just want to camp up and build big kill streaks. These are the kind of players they're using trying to get the nukes of Modern Warfare 2 every domination match ever. And they actually provide a valuable service to the team. If they're any good, or at least they will get good at it, they will provide the team with valuable kill streaks. When these kind of players are calling the dogs, these kind of players are drawing enemy fire, that's when you need to go cap your flags. Having 1 or 2 of these on your team, I actually think is very helpful. When the entire team is doing it, no one gets any kills, nothing gets done, and it's just all in all a nightmare for everyone. But if you have a couple people that do this, they're really helpful, especially because they'll typically rout the enemy, they'll be firing at the spawn a lot. These are the players that are always screaming for a spawn trap, but whatever, I don't like the spawn trap, but they'll always call for the spawn trap. They want to pad their KDR, they want to get dogs, and they're useful. Don't yell at them for their 1-0 caps, just let them play the way they want. They're not going to give the team that much kill streaks to use against you, and they'll draw fire. All in all, they're pretty handy. You need someone that's moving around capping flags, but it doesn't have to be everybody. When you get everyone trying to cap flags, you get the too many Indians running. Too many, whatever. I'm not going to try to use an analogy. Basically, you just wind up with a bunch of suicide runners that may have not intended to be such. So honor these players. This is where I started, and I know I performed a valuable service to my team. Not the most valuable, but I was not detrimental at all. And players who play this way are not detrimental. When you have too many players on this team, someone needs to change roles. So let's just move on. The next class of player I see is sort of self-explanatory. They are the spawn trapping, I only play with my friends garbage. And not to sound sort of jerky, but these kind of players, they all work together, they all just dream crush their opponents, there's no competition, they leave playlists where, there's actually legitimate competition. They all tag up or they don't tag up, but they all stay in a party, they spawn trap you, and they usually talk garbage like, my god, why are you doing so badly? It's not like we have a whole party of friends. There's not a lot to say about these. They're usually pretty good players to bother doing this, but they're so annoying. If you get in a game with people like this, just leave the game. Don't give them the pleasure. Let the suicide runners and the ghost people just feed their KDR. Just pad their stats. That's what they want. Let them pad their stats. Get out. Just don't let them ruin yours. And finally, the class of player I think I've graduated to, as I was just a screw the objective camper. I've tried to graduate to the sort of the tactical pusher. These players constantly move towards flags, or they constantly engage enemies they have shots at on the minimap, but they're generally working towards flags to capture them. They're not rushing at flags, they're just walking towards them, taking out enemies as they go. These players typically maintain a good KDR. May not be as high as a straight camper, but it's a good KDR. They'll get plenty of caps, and all in all, I think these are the ideal players on your team. I think you want, if you have a 6-man team, you want 3 or 4 players to be of this variety. You need players that are going to go around and capture flags, but they're not going to build enormous kill streaks for the enemy. They win their gunfights as much as they can. They're not afraid to battle, they're not afraid to die. Yeah, Ghost Guy gets me with his golden FAMAS. What is, everyone's like 15th prestige. Did I not play this game enough? So this is what I'm trying to do. Textbook flag capping. You push the enemies out of the flag, you take defensive positions around the flag, and you cap it. It sounds like, well, obviously, you know, why are you stating the obvious? If it's so obvious, why does no one do it? And I find very few players that actually do this. And I know I didn't do it, because I just was concerned about my stats. I was like, man, if I go to those flags, I'll die. Like, pretty much every time I try to capture B flag on this game, I'm going to die. And I know it. But as long as I can cap the flag, or at least keep them from capping it, you know, it's worth a death. You know, I'll get plenty of kills moving towards the flags. So if I trade a life for a flag cap and pick up 3 or 4 kills on my way to the flag, or while getting killed on the flag, it's worth it. People underestimate the value of getting kills and dying. I mean, not everyone has to go, like, you don't need flawless games to have a good KDR. You know, if you get 3 kills per every death, you're doing great. 2 kills per every death is the standard I set for myself, and by most names, people consider me a pretty decent player. And I'm sure there's people that watch these videos like, wow, you suck. But anyway, you sort of get where I'm going with this. I'd like to emphasize, this is the introductory video. The next video should be on more map strategy and weapon strategy. This, I just want an overview of what I hope to be a series here. And I want to say, I'm trying to do like a mostly ACOG prestige here. Like M16 ACOG for until I unlock the ACOG AUG, and now the ACOG AUG, which I'm pretty okay with. I don't think it's any better than dual mag or suppressor or red dot or really irons, but you know, extended mag. But frankly, it's cool. It's a very cool weapon. It's fun to use, and that's pretty much it. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe if you like. That's the end of the video, and you know, pretty good score there. You know, 5 caps, 28-3, I think. I can't really see the score because it's on a little mini version. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you like this series. Leave your comments.